Hello, welcome. I'm Alexiana, and today, as the title says, we're going to be talking about the 5 worst plane dramas, and I use that word instead of crashes because they are not all crashes, as you will see. Now there's many others I could have chosen, but for me these are the most horrific, and hopefully you'll agree. So, number 5, United 93. September 11th, 2001. It was a Boeing 757 from Newark, New Jersey to San Francisco, California. There were 37 passengers and 7 crew on board, and about 45 minutes after takeoff, hijackers took control of the aircraft. The passengers heard about the other events of the day and knew they were doomed, so they tried to retake the plane. In the struggle for control, it dived into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, killing everyone on board. That is a position that we never want to find ourselves in. What they must have gone through, what must have gone through their heads, is just, it doesn't bear thinking about. And number 4, Germanwings 9525. March 24th, 2015. Airbus A320 from Barcelona, Spain to Dusseldorf, Germany. After reaching its cruising altitude of 38,000 feet, the co-pilot locked the captain out of the cockpit and began a controlled and rapid descent. The French dispatched a Mirage fighter to intercept it after air traffic controls to the plane went unanswered. After diving at about 3,400 feet a minute, the plane hurtled into the French Alps and disintegrated. The debris field covered an area of about 2 square kilometres, or 500 acres, and the biggest piece of wreckage found was about the size of a car. Again, it's just whatever you have thought about that is probably what I've thought about it. You know, hopefully we share the same views on that. It's just pilot suicide. It's just nobody wants to be on that aircraft. It's just it's just terrible. Number 3, Malaysian Flight 17. July 17th, 2014. It was a Boeing 777 going from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur. And it wasn't that Malaysia that we've all heard about, it's the other one, which we've hopefully all heard about. There was 298 souls on board, and it was shot down by paranoid pro-Russian fighters who mistakenly thought it was military, with a missile over the eastern Ukraine, and the plane was torn apart and everybody died. And number 2, Tenerife crash. A slightly older one, but hopefully if you have an interest in planes or air crash investigation, you've heard about this one too. March 27th, 1977. Before I was even born, and perhaps before many of you were born. It was a Pan Am 1736 and KLM 4805. Both Boeing 747s. They were diverted from Gran Canaria to Los Rodeos for their landing after terrorist activity at their destination airport. In heavy fog and zero visibility, the KLM pilot, fully loaded with fuel and without clearance, began to accelerate down the runway to take off. And at that time, the Pan Am was still taxiing towards him down the runway, looking for an exit slipway. Out of the collective 544 souls on board the planes, only 61 survived the crash, and they were all from the Pan Am. If you want the entire picture on this, and you haven't previously heard about this disaster, it's aircraft investigation, collision on the runway, or Tenerife disaster. If you search those up, you'll find videos on this, and you can get the whole picture on that incident, because it's terrible. And number 1, FedEx 705. It happened April 7th, 1944. It was a DC-10 from Memphis, Tennessee to San Jose, California, with 3 crew: Captain Dave Sanders, co-pilot Jim Tucker, and flight engineer Andy Peterson. And the only passenger aboard was a FedEx employee. It was a flight engineer, Auburn, pronouncing it wrong, Calloway, who was hitching a ride in the jump seat. And again, if you don't know, if you haven't heard about that incident and you want to look it up, it's Aircraft Investigation Fight for Your Life. And that really describes what happened. Because Calloway tried to take over the aircraft. And thanks to the strength and in part the military training of those other men, they survived that ordeal. And it's my number 1 because if you watch the reenactment the Air Crash Investigation have done, it's truly horrific. The men received injuries that meant they were never fit to fly again. The best thing is that they lived, they were alive, and they're grateful for it, but they were never able to fly again, and that's really sad. So, I could go into more detail, but it's if you've watched that, you perhaps will understand why this is my number 1. It's truly horrific, and the strength of those men and the aeroplane that they were flying at the time is amazing, because the pilot put it through manoeuvres that an aeroplane that size is not meant to cope with, and the aeroplane was just terrific. It was wonderful. It didn't break apart. The strength of that aeroplane and that crew is just fantastic. So, yeah, it's feels relatively short and sweet today compared to the things I've covered. So, I hope you enjoyed it, even though it's perhaps not the right word because it's all terrible things. And please go and look up some of these because they are just they're terrible. Just words just fail me to describe how bad they are. So, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.